Hey, Georgia.
The coach has already said he's not ready to put somebody in the Stewart.
Hey, Molly.
Folks who are back by the door, you're going to have to move because the students will be coming in that way. And two, for folks that are unable to find the seat.
Yeah, they're don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
For every 2 minutes.
Get out of your way, yeah. I'll just get out of your way now.
It's like you give it a little it's like a subway after July 4th. Yeah, she's coming on.
So what if their house in order?
Is this good now?
Together?
Well, I got one good one, and then she's standing right in front of us. Like I don't know.
That's education.
Hey.
Thank you very
Top 3 recipients are hooded by their major professor. The faculty member who hoods his or her student is a member of the student's research committee and
Turn around. Turn around. There.
Here are Georgia and Vero and Molly coming to the rehearsal dinner. Sid and Candy and Jorge. There's Molly. And here's Curtis. Doesn't she look gorgeous? We're here.
I told them they had to put me up at the Hilton and make a difference.
It must have taken some time to get that straightened out.
Well, we never saw our room, so Vero had to unpack her clothes and put her makeup on in the.
Here's Bruce and Jesse.
Welcome. We're here looking at the view. It's very cloudy, rainy tonight.
Al otro lado del río. Sí. Sitio famoso.
Lana, Margot
Here comes-
Lana, is fine.
Bill.
Sauvignon Blanc.
I've got some
And
Let's have one Chardonnay, one Sauvignon Blanc.
Hello. Bill.
Sit at that level, Ann?
Back out of
And
MC.
I am Ann's cousin. Oh, are you? Yeah.
I figured you would get me.
What's your name? Barbara McDonald.
well, I know I'm taking the. Oh, I'm recording. Here is Alexander. Hi, sweetie.
What's she doing? What is that?
Here's his mom.
Hi.
Barb. He's very interested in people's hands.
Yeah, I used to.
And here's Matthew.
I've got a camera. Maybe I should take pictures of Ann. I think so.
There were more serious people than that. Still the nicest house I ever lived in.
Where did you live?
I lived on Cold Street, right now.
Steve.
6 bedrooms, each one nice. 6 of us, each
Evan
paying
and
$50
Molly.
a month. Much nicer than mine. And it's still there. It's still nice. Now bed to bed is $3,000
We were in the outer area, or what used to be the outer area.
I was up there last year with
It
friends.
was unfortunate because
Christine
we
did
didn't
it.
know that the website was under construction at the time. So to get to our room, we had to go down one hall, up the elevator.
People were things that were ideas that had inspired her. So there was a piece called
Here's a piece. Hi, Candy. You look so good tonight.
it was a large sort of candy farm.
We're moving.
How many people we have? 24 people? You?
No, just sort of eat it in your lap.
How are we going to do this?
Everybody else has gone home, so we're just it's a real cozy scene.
Everybody will know who you are.
I'm David McKnight. Ann McKnight, who's getting married tomorrow, is my mother. And Felice is my bride of 1 year. And we are having our first child in 3 months. So we didn't waste any time. And we feel like this is very momentous that only a year after we got married that my mom could go through a wedding of her own and start a new phase of her life and experience the same happiness that we've been experiencing for the last year.
So we have this, so we want to welcome this, whether you're the oldest or youngest, because of the life that you're bringing into it. And so there are 2 other members of this family. Now,
This is my wife. 2 years. Been together 5 years. Yeah. That's my mom getting married tomorrow. That's my brother over there, his wife. My sister over here.
and where do you live, Sid?
Oh, Concord, North Carolina.
Concord, North Carolina. And you came into this family when you were how old? 6 years old. And this first Christmas we helped put together your electric train.
right here in Chevy Chase. Sidney was the cutest little boy. He was. And now he's a handsome young man.
Just kidding.
So Sidney was blessed to meet Candy a couple of years ago, and Candy came into the family. So that's the North Carolina, and the interesting thing, they live in North Carolina near where we live, so that's been fun. And then the third child in this younger generation will introduce herself.
I'm Molly McKnight, daughter of Ann. And I'm going into my 4th year at Hamilton College.
And she said an interesting thing to us at dinner about being a kind of only child or something like that. That was, I never had heard you. The way the spacing is. You want to just...
The way the spacing is that my last brother left the house when I was 12, so I've had basically from 12 until now to be an only child. And
through her...
So I have kind of both experiences of having 2 brothers and also being the only child, the spoiled youngest, if
Not
you
as
will.
many bruises for the last 8 years.
Not as many bruises for the last 8 years.
So continuing on this other side of the family for the younger generation, Pam is going to do the honors there.
Okay, I'm going to do the honors. And I will start. Kid is my brother, okay? But I'm going to start with his children, of which there are 2.
Okay, thank you.
Jessie is first, or actually second.
I'm the younger.
But she's the younger, but I'm going to start with Jessie.
She's going to pick on me first.
Right. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, well, as she said, Kit's my dad.
I'm sorry, Jessie, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Kit is my father, and
Where do you live?
I live in Seattle sometimes, and I live in San Jose sometimes. And I work in San Jose, and my boyfriend lives in Seattle. And my cats live in Seattle. My best friend's in San Jose. So I spend a lot of time going back and forth right now. And that's about it.
Why don't you introduce yourself and your family?
Sure. Well, my name is Matthew, and this is my wife, Danapa. And our new son, Alex, who's almost 6 months old now. We live in Los Angeles, where I work at a university. And my wife is currently trying to get her nursing license in the United States. She's already a nurse in 2 other countries. So...
Donna's from Thailand. Just got back from a trip of fun. Do you want to say anything, Donna?
It's my dog. Get rid of our responsibility. So it's very, very lovely, and this is a lovely moment. Thank you.
And this is Kit's first grandchild, Alex. It's very fun. He has lots of energy.
And now we're up to these kind of middle kind of corridors of experience, if you will, you know, the siblings. And so when Ann grew up, she had 2 sisters in her house all of her time. Well, maybe she should explain this, but then she had this other cousin who became her sister move into the house. And Kitty's a little older, so Kitty will introduce herself, and you can explain that a little better than I just did, I'm sure.
Okay. I'm Ann's first cousin, but she has always been like a sister to me, and really became like a sister to me when my mother died. And my aunt, my beloved aunt, always called me Kit, so I think it is no accident that Anne was chosen to marry a man named Kit. I guess my blessing would be that there is such a wonderful collection of people here. We are of all different kinds of people and all different ages, and we have so many things in common, and we have so many differences, and that may you always have that kind of love and diversity and family in your lives.
And then Ann had another older sister.
And I think I probably know Ann about as well as anybody here. I lived with her in those growing up years, which were always interesting. And I also, my husband is Bill, and we live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we have 2 children, Cora and Dana, neither of whom are here today, but who are very attached to Ann and her family. I think that I would like to say also something on behalf of my mom and dad, who have passed away, but who I think would definitely like Kit. I think my mother would say, he is such a nice young man. It's true, that's what she would say. And I think that my dad would say, he's a fine fellow and he has a good job. And I think that they would be very, very happy that Annie has married such a nice man. And I'm very happy. I find there she got her baby. And I would just like to say that I'm very happy that Kit's coming into the family because I like Kit. You're a very nice companion and brother-in-law and all of the above.
Interpreter here at supper. The Kitty has this family energy that she's brought to this gathering for this week. That she lived in Mexico for 2 years and brought back the son. And for all of these years, she's had Spanish-speaking attendants. So that we discussed at our table that Vero is here, like all of us are here as our own selves, but also representing energy kind of behind who we are and our family. And Vero, in a way, is all of the attendants that you and Jorge have had over the years.
Well, my dearly beloved son Jorge is 19 years old, and he's a freshman at New Mexico Military, not a freshman, a cadet at New Mexico Military Institute. And he and I are really looking forward to being at the beach with all of you. And Veronica Vero has been with me off and on for a number of years and is just a delight to travel with, and she's a kind, lovely woman and is going to make us a wonderful dinner at the beach.
And then we have another interesting aspect of Ann's family that Kit's family may not know. Kit surely knows it by now. Is that the Springer family, the 3 Springer girls and Kitty's family, have all of these cousins, and they're all kind of connected through these through this land that they all kind of inherited, and so they keep seeing each other at all these family gatherings. And so they know 3rd and 4th cousins, a lot more cousins than most people know. And one of them, representing all of these cousins,
oh goody,
is here tonight. So why don't you tell us, all 42 cousins or something of the, whatever you want to tell us, what you're feeling tonight in this gathering.
My mother just loved Comat, and she always loved coming to see her cousins in Washington, D.C. And I would be very remiss if I wasn't at this wedding, and I'm so glad that Ann likes me so that I can be here. And
so your mother, your grandmother was one of
was a Mattis.
Was Papa's sister, is that right?
Papa's sister.
So their grandmother.
He was the great Uncle George who went to Princeton.
Their grandfather was Papa George.
Well, he wasn't. He was Uncle George.
He was Uncle George. He was George Mattis, and he had 4 sisters, right? 3 sisters.
3 sisters.
And so down from these 3 sisters and George Mattis are all these cousins, 2 generations
and
later.
their cousins were so close that those cousin Ross.
And introduce the rest of your family who's not here yet, so that when they arrive, people will know who they are.
Well, I'm Bruce. I was, Kit was my older brother. He was 2 years. and he was 2 years old, so we grew up together. So he was always larger than me. And so any of you who have had older brothers will know all that suggests, implies, entails. And so we have all that background, which is really quite a lot, really. And I have a family, my wife Carrie, and my sons Andrew, 17, and Owen, 9, who are arriving tonight, later tonight. We'll be here tomorrow for the wedding.
And I was the youngest. Like you, I sort of got to grow up for a lot of my time without brothers around, because Kip was already finished college by the time I graduated from 8th grade or something. He was a lot older than I was. But I just want to wish both of you great happiness. I think that a midlife marriage has lots of opportunities that are different from a first marriage when you are going to be having children, raising children together. And so it gives you different opportunities in terms of how you grow together. And I wish you both a lot of happiness. My family who's with me here is my husband Steve, who is over here with the beard and the smile, and my son Evan, who also has a beard, who is 20 and a sophomore, just finished his sophomore year in college, and my daughter Elena, who was not able to come, who just graduated from college last week, but she sends her best wishes and love to Kit and Ann.
Okay.
Every year at the Unitarian Church Service Auction. Can everyone hear me? I offer a sailing expedition on the Potomac. And usually
a lot of
5 or
women
6
come.
women. 5 or 6 women sign up. I don't know why, it's just the women. Anyone who's the highest bidder could come.
Because you're the skipper.
I'm the skipper, right? So anyway, 2 years ago, your turn.
I signed up.
Did you sign up because he was the skipper?
No, I didn't know who he was.
Smooth sailing ever since, eh?
We have been sailing ever since. And so we actually do the service auction in the fall, and this actual item was in the spring, and I didn't know who he was, but I just thought, well, this would be fun. So I signed up, and he calls up, this is Christopher Britton. We're going to have this sale next week. So I schlep myself down to the marina, and I show up, and and they look out into the Potomac, and they say, there's not enough wind today to go. So there was a whole group of people there, and we all went home.
So, I'm pretty serious about my obligations.
And it's been a dead calm ever since.
I'm pretty serious about my obligations. You know, when I offer something at the service auction, I put it in my calendar, and I put it down to call up again. You know, to make sure that everybody got their shot. After all, they paid for it.
So, about 2 weeks later, this is Christopher Britton. We are going to have our sale again on Tuesday. So I schlepped down to the marina, and they look out of the Potomac and they go, there's way too much wind. So we all go home. But that time,
sailing ever since.
There was only 3 people. So then about 2 weeks later,
I pulled out the thing again. It's in my calendar. It's a list of people. I called them all. I really did.
And one showed up.
I called them all. I left voicemail for them, most of them. You know how it is. Mostly
and
it's
only I showed up.
The faith didn't work.
And that day, the wind was good.
Great story.
a lovely story.
It is. Well, any two people who can tell a story together like that
Really?
are well matched.
So we have been sailing along. Well, so we met in the spring, and we sort of saw each other during the summer. And Kit would say things to me like, "Are you going to the picnic?" Which meant, "Are you going to show up and be there?" But we're not really going to have a date. So when I came home from dropping off Molly for college, he had talked a lot about the mushrooms. And he had, about the mushroom, his interest in mushrooms. So I came back from dropping off Molly at college, and I come back. Are you embarrassed? And I call him up, and I say, "Have you heard the mushroom report?" And he's going like, "What?" And that was when we started dating.
What is the mushroom?
We missed something.
Well, it was just I had gone out and seen some mushrooms, and he didn't look like he was going to ask me on a date, so I just decided I
You
would
called
ask
him. That's
I would
the
ask
point
him.
of this. I see.
And he says, "No, I don't know about the mushrooms, but can I come over and see them?" And then, it's like edgy, sort of edgy something. So we went on a mushroom walk. And he told me all about the mushrooms. What a guy.
I learned that from my mother and my father, how to cook for mushrooms.
So we've come full circle. So this relationship blossomed with those mushrooms, and he said he'd only gone to the hospital twice. I said, "Well, that's not a bad average, for eating poisonous mushrooms."
Really? Really? Did you eat poisonous mushrooms?
Only twice. And his former wife. Now, does that tell you something?
How do you turn this thing off?
You just press the button.
I pressed it, but it's still going. It says it's recording.
Press it harder.
My cousins Julie and John, and my cousins Margie and Jim, and old friends of my parents, and my cousins Bill and Patty Moeller, and an old friend of my family, Mary Frances Pearson, and so not a lot of people.
What does the red light mean?
But it's working.
Oh, we're taking pictures now.
Welcome to the wedding of Ann and Kit. Ann and Kit, in presenting yourselves here today, you are performing an act of faith in each other. A faith which should grow and mature and endure. If you would have your love set on such faith, not just for this moment, but in all the days ahead, then ever cherish the hopes and dreams you now hold. Resolve that love not be blotted out by the commonplace, nor blurred by the mundane in life. False will appear where now there is entrancement, but devotion. Now, why does everybody giggle at that? But devotion, joy, and love can grow as you build them together. Stand fast in hope and confidence, believing in yourselves and believing in each other. In this spirit, you can create a partnership which will strengthen both and give you hope and strength to all who love you. Could the family please come forward? Both families. Who presents this woman to be married to this man and blesses their love?
We do.
Who presents this man to be married to this woman and blesses their love?
We do.
Thank you. You may now be seated. And could the children please come forward? There are children who will share in this marriage. Matthew and Donafa Britton, Jessica Britton, Sydney and Candy McKnight, David and Felice McKnight, and Molly McKnight. All of you will be deeply affected by this relationship. A new family is being created which will require much caring and support on everyone's part. We hope that all of you will weave together new possibilities for yourselves as a family and as individuals. Will each of you now please light a candle to represent your support of this marriage and this new family being created? Thank you very much. You may now all be seated. Except for David.
1 Corinthians 13. If I speak with the eloquence of men and of angels, but have no love, I become no more than blaring brass or crashing cymbal. If I have the gift of foretelling the future and hold in my mind all human knowledge, but have no love, I amount to nothing. This love of which I speak is slow to lose patience. It looks for a way of being constructive. It is not possessive. It is neither anxious to impose, nor does it cherish inflated ideas of its own importance. Love has good manners and does not pursue selfish advantage. It is not touchy. It does not keep account of evil or gloat over the wickedness of other people. On the contrary, it is glad when truth prevails. Love knows no limit to its endurance, no end to its trust. It is the one thing that still stands when all else has fallen.
So now we all get to participate. The four of us are going to sing the first verse of Morning Is Broken. And on the back of your program is the song. And after we sing the first verse, then we want you to join in and sing verses 2 and 3 with us.
Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow.
Kit and Ann come together a little closer. I have a couple of questions for you. For one, Kit, will you have Ann to be your wedded wife, to enter together upon a shared life? Will you love her, comfort her, honor and cherish her, in weakness and in strength, in sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy from this day forward?
I will.
And Ann, will you have Kit to be your husband, to enter together upon a shared life? Will you love him, Comfort him, honor and cherish him in weakness and in strength, in sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy from this day forward.
I will.
Well, then we may as well exchange the vows.
I, Kit, take you, Anne, to be the wife of my days, to be the mother of my children, to be the companion of my house. We shall keep together what share of troubles our lives may lay upon us, and we shall share together our store of goodness and plenty and love.
I, Anne, take you, Kit, to be the husband of my days, to be the companion of my house. We shall keep together what share of trouble and sorrow our lives may lay upon us, and we shall share together our store of goodness and plenty and love.
And we have a reading, Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare and Matthew Britton. I'm going to say that for you.
Yes, this is William Shakespeare's 116th sonnet. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when its alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, love is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, though his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears forth to the edge of doom. If this be error, and I be proved wrong, I never writ, nor no man ever wrong.
And now Molly McKnight will come forward.
I'm going to read a poem by Paul LaRue. If your love is to grow and Yet in the same incident, one, joined as a whole that does not blur the two individuals as you dance. The music is there, if you will listen hard, through the static and noise of life, and other tunes that fill your heads. You are here, marking time to the music. The dance can only begin, you will take the first, and hardest, tentative, uncertain, stumbling step.
Ann and Kit have consented together in wedlock and have witnessed the same before this company. You are now husband and wife. Sydney will now give the Apache Indian blessing for this marriage.
You better bless this fast.
Now you'll feel no rain for it. Now you'll feel no rain for it. Now you'll feel no rain for each of you will be sheltered to the other. Now you'll feel no cold, for each of you will be warm to the other. Now you will feel no loneliness, for each of you will be a companion to the other. Now you are two bodies, but there is only one life before you. Go now to your dwelling place to enter the days of your life together, and may your days be good and long upon the earth.
And now, a little candle lighting ceremony. I think we better do this quickly. Before you, you see 6 special wedding candles. The small candle symbolizes the lives of the bride and groom, lives that have been given life to their children. And until today, Ann and Kit have let their light shine as individuals. Now they've come to publicly proclaim their love and in the new union of marriage. Today they do not lose their individuality, yet in marriage they are united in so close a bond that in some sense they become one. Now they will light the large center candle from the smaller candle to symbolize this new reality. We pray that their light may never grow dim or be extinguished, rather that the fire of their love may light the lives of those around them. Congratulations, and now.
Sure.
See y'all.
Is in Calvert. Recently, we talked to Ricky, and she wasn't here.
Oh, right.
So many people that have come from so many different parts of our lives, and we welcome you part of it. We did have a very small ceremony with our families today, and so we thought that you would not have had the opportunity to be introduced to our children and our families, and we wanted just to take a moment tonight to do that. I have 3 children. I'm trying to keep an eye on them. And do you want to kind of wave, guys? Sydney, are you here? Okay, Sydney, wait. You wave. Okay, this is Sydney. And he came today with his wife. There they are. His wife Candy, they came from Concord, North Carolina, where they live, and they came to be with us. I have a second son, David McKnight, and it's, if you can, he's waving over there. It was just about a year ago that David married his wife, Felice. And this is another, I'm having a hard time with all these transitions. But we're going to be grandparents in September with David and Felice. David and Felice live in Salt Lake, City, Utah. And came home. I have a child, a daughter, Molly. Molly is 21, and she has just completed her junior year. She spent her junior year in Madrid, and we took the opportunity to visit her quite a bit. In fact, we visited her so much, she said, "Are you back again?" But she was pretty nice about it. Actually, my kid and I and Felice and David in November, and then my sister Georgia, who is in this fuchsia floor over here, in March. And I think you probably may have run into this as you came in tonight, but Georgia is a professor of art at Meredith College in North Carolina. Her medium is textile design, and her specialty is in quilts. And Georgia has designed, along with our this is like a Rorschach of a relationship. Georgia took us into the G Street fabrics. And we had to pick out 13 different fabrics to put in this quilt. As she said that she understood our relationship a lot better. After we got out of G Street fabrics. So I was happy about that. But anyway, Georgia has designed and is helping to make it
Something like a Rorschach.
We also have, I also have several other relatives. One is my cousin Kitty. Where are you? She and her son Jorge have come from California. Anyway, she was at the wedding table. Back there. Have I missed anyone? My brother-in-law, Bill Finger, is also here. So I want to thank you for coming.
Welcome you. Hope you had a good time. I'll briefly introduce my family also. My mother, Christine. Son Ford. The senior person here at 90. He was come from Pasadena, California. Matthew and his wife, Danapaw. Matthew is living in Los Angeles with his wife and a 6-year-old child. He's got a and my daughter Jessica is here tonight. Jessica, are you in the vicinity? Jessica, are you around? Now Jessica's the one with the long hair. Beautiful personality. My brother Bruce. My sister Pamela and her family that comes from Pasadena also. She's standing there. Her husband Steve and my children Evan.
Sister. Yeah.
And one of them wasn't able to make it, Elena. So I think that's the entire family. Many. Oh, it's going to work. I'm sorry. Bruce's wife, Carrie, and Bruce's children. Owen, Carrie's back there. Owen's right here. Everybody says, "Is the juice." Here's the